Hello, I'm Kelsey Adams, and here is my scenic design for Riders to the Sea. So, looking at my set, I think the first thing you notice is all the muted colors in my set, all the muted and neutral colors. I chose this because I don't really want the set to be the focus of this. I just want the set to be just an extension of the story, so there's nothing that really stands out particularly except for the window, but realistically the colors in that would be more muted, but I just wanted to show that there would be a window with a glimpse of the storm going on outside. I also chose all these muted colors because realistically this is what a cottage would look like in this place in this time, and so the muted colors just stuck with me, and it also made sense for the story, so I just took it and ran. And so you can see the fireplace is made out of stone, and there is the pot that is mentioned in the story. I chose the stone again because realistically that's what it would be made out of during this time. So yeah, and then the pot that's mentioned in the story, and they put it in the fire, and realistically there would be like a little fake fire in there. And then there are the boards that are mentioned in the story that are just leaning against the fireplace in the wall. They're the boards for the coffin, and in the story they mentioned that they are white. I just chose a darker brown just so it didn't stick out, like because I feel like if they were white and the whole set was this natural color, they'd be sticking out way more than I wanted them to, and so I just stuck with that darker brown than any of the other darker browns. And because I don't want that to be the focus, I kind of want them to blend in until later you're just like, oh, those boards are for the coffin. So that's why I stuck with the natural brown instead of going with the white. And then there is the table that one of the daughters would be kneading bread at, and I just went with like a wooden table, yeah. And then the spinning wheel that after she like finishes kneading the bread, putting the pot by the stove, she goes to the spinning wheel and starts working on it. So there's that. And then there's this support beam that is not mentioned, but like I added it because it mentions that they throw the bundle with like the evidence that the priest gave them that their brother is dead. They throw it up into the ceiling. I thought this was a great way to add that, and so I added that beam so they could put it up there, and then added the ladder so later when they need to retrieve that information they can just go up there and grab it. And the floor is gray because realistically it would be made out of stone. And there is the door that leads to the outside world. This is where we would see the mourners, and they would be wearing red, which is why also I wanted to make the set very neutral, very muted. I wanted the red to really stand out and be like a contrast of what's going on in here and what's going on out there. Because in this whole story, it's kind of like they're hiding the fact that their brother died from their mother. They're afraid to tell her. They kind of know it, and like I feel like this color kind of like says what's happening in here is muted, but once they open that door and see the bright red, what's happening out there is vibrant and real. Like here it's fake, like they're all just kind of too scared to make a move, which I feel like muted colors kind of bring that stagnant air to this play. Like it just makes everything feel like it's kind of dusty. If you move too much, you're gonna disturb the dust. That's what I thought of at least. But yeah, and that's the door that we'll see the mourners through, and also during the play it blows open. And for the mother's room, I was gonna add a door, but then I realized that might look a little bit weird because I wanted to add it over here, but I feel like that would just be too much happening over there. So, and I didn't want to add it over here because they would be, she'd be making something on that table, and I feel like if there was a door right there, it wouldn't make sense why there's a table there. So, I kind of just stuck with the fact that her room is off stage and she'll walk in, like, just walking in from off stage, just because that works for my story, and it works for the set, and I just really wanted this set to show a visual representation of the story, which I feel like it certainly does, with the like the colors and all the stuff that is mentioned in the play is in here. Only thing I really changed was the boards, just because I didn't want them to be noticeable until the very end, until their use is mentioned, because when I was reading the script, I was just like, that's kind of weird that they have like brand new boards leaning against the wall, and it wasn't until the very end I was just like, oh, they're boards to the coffin? And I kind of wanted everybody else to have that same reaction as me, without the visual representation of it, because for me, I think that was, like, since I didn't have a visual representation of it, that was not, like, something I was just like, okay, there's whiteboards leaning against the wall. Okay, that's weird to mention, but okay. And then later when it's mentioned that they're for the coffin, I kind of wanted to be like, oh, so they were prepared for this. They knew it was happening, but it was just like, oh my gosh, they were just keeping that around the house. No wonder like the energy in their house is so low, because like that's just sad. And yeah, I just wanted to make it natural so people would have the same reaction as me. And yeah, overall, that is my project, and thank you for listening.